Hey guys, Isaac Punts here today because I'm bringing you some very important information about a specific punter. So it's not so often that punters do get drafted, but when they do, it's usually a risk for the team, publicity-wise, as well for the next season, because they're giving up a major spot to pick up arguably, the best players coming out of college in a much-needed position to secure a punter, which to many football fans may not seem as important as skilled players, and often that position is a little bit more ridiculed as not contributing enough to the chances of winning a game to merit a draft pick. But I'm assuming you're here because I'm gonna make a statement that Daniel Whelan out of UC Davis will get drafted, and you want your questions answered. Is he worth it? So today I feel so confident. I'm going to be bringing you 5 reasons why I feel like Daniel Whelan will be drafted in 2022. So hopefully if you're watching this, this is me speaking to you from the past, okay, talking to the future audience. Here's why he should be drafted, okay? Reason 1, leg strength. So it should go without saying that if you want to be a good NFL punter, you have to have a decent sized leg. This is what we call having a high ceiling. The top end on Daniel Whelan's punts are 60 plus, 5 plus seconds of hang punts. Okay, so he's hit a ton of 60 plus yards punts in games, and he routinely forces fair catches on 50 plus yard punts. While this isn't everything when it comes to draftability, what's more impressive is really just how easy he makes it look. A good pro comparison to Daniel Whelan in regard to his punting style, personally, I've got to compare him to Pat O'Donnell from Chicago. It's the ease and fluidity at which they both hit some really big punts. It's really important because it demonstrates how streamlined and efficient their process is, which when it's streamlined and efficient means it's going to be more repeatable. But like I said earlier, having a big leg, having a high ceiling isn't everything. It's just what gets you noticed. So it's what I'm going to start off with. Here's some more big leg punts from Whelan to demonstrate.
Scoreboard that they have at the very, very top of Holter Arena here.
He's got a leg.
Omeabu fills it at his own 30. Makes a move, and he's going to get maybe about 9 yards on the return, and it'll be first and 10 for Idaho State from their own 30. Kicks it from his own 12. A booming kick. Omeabu has to go all the way back to his own 25. Loses the ball, but still loose. He's usually playing running back. Missed last week's game. He's going to call for a fair catch and makes it at about the 10.
No yardage.
Team leading 4th sack for Elijah Ponder, a redshirt freshman from Bishop Amat High School in Southern California. Giancarlo Woods doesn't have much running room on the punt return, and he'll be stopped.
What Cal Poly wants.
A lot of talent on this 10th-ranked UC Davis team, but you ask Dan Hawkins, and he'll tell you his punter is the best NFL prospect they have. And a booming punt sends Giancarlo Woods back to the 20.
Defense tonight's been just nails.
Daniel Whelan sends it to Giancarlo Woods.
Here's Whelan. He is an outstanding punter. Oh, my goodness. Whoa.
That's a great punt.
That is amazing. Backing Owen up all the way to his 4, and then he's going to be tackled inside the 10. Kick. Watch the way he gets that foot into the ball, and he launches it.
You're not joking.
Oh, man. That bounces at the 1, and it takes an Aggie bounce. Are you kidding me?
Could not have kicked the ball better.
That might have been one of the best punts I've ever seen. I mean, he put that into the stratosphere.
Mitch, I think that ball landed inside of the 1 and then bounced forward or backwards in a good way.
Number 2, Daniel has really good direction. So this is kind of going to be the last part that's easy to understand for non-punters. Essentially the best compliment for having a big leg is being able to place the ball as close to the sideline as possible. What this does is really limit the room in which the returner can make plays, making the coverage for your unit easier. At the NFL level, honestly, you only have 2 guys covering because your line is not allowed to leave the line of scrimmage until after the ball is punted. So you just have your 2 gunners. So being able to cut the field down to a couple of yards by putting the ball as close to the sideline as possible is even better than in college where everybody can release before you punt it. And this is something Daniel does exceptionally well. He has tons of 50+ yard punts being put feet from the sideline, forcing returners out of bounds. Here's some more clips demonstrating this aspect of his game.
Whelan spiral, cut at the 30-yard line by Stevenson, makes a couple of moves and brings it back out to the 38-yard line. But again, an interception. Exactly. Whelan takes his time, a little pooch kick, angled right side. Aggies are down there to field it, but it goes out of bounds.
Playing running back, missed last week's game. He's going to call for a fair catch and makes it at about the 10. Or that they have at the very, very top of Holterita here.
He's got a leg.
Omeabu fills it at his own 30. Makes a move, and he's going to get maybe about 9 yards on the return, and it'll be first and 10. Kicks it from his own 12. A booming kick. Omeabu has to go all the way back to his own 25. Loses the ball, but...
There's Whelan. He is an outstanding punter. Oh, my goodness. Whoa.
That's a great punt.
That is amazing. Backing Owen up all the way to his 4, and then he's going to be tackled.
3. Short field control. A big leg and good direction are all parts of punting, but Daniel also has an excellent ability to keep the ball out of the end zone. While putting up impressive numbers this year, Daniel has only let 4 of those punts roll into the end zone. He has shown a great ability to pin the ball specifically inside the 10, and what I love most about this tape is that even though he's short field punting, he still punts like he's got some cojones, right? He doesn't hit the ball to the 15, to the 12 that much. He's able to put it inside the 10, inside the 5, and he kicks it with a lot of trust in his coverage team. This is NFL caliber punting with a ton of skill and precision behind it. Here are some more clips demonstrating this ability.
1.
Interception. Exactly. Whelan takes his time, a little pooch kick, angled right side. Aggies are down there to field it, but it goes out of bounds. 10-yard line. Whelan, a high end-over-end kick. It's going to bounce at the 5 and take a good Aggie bounce and down inside the 10.
See Davis offense. They've lived in the backfield through one half. Daniel Whelan sends that out of bounds.
Number 4, Daniel has great discipline. This is the part that made me realize that Whelan not only should get drafted, but that he was going to get drafted. In punts coming up, Daniel has to make some hard choices because he's kind of in a gray area of the field, meaning that his regular spiral punt has a higher probability of going into the end zone, but his Aussie might end up short. So he either has to really boot a Aussie, aka a backspin style punt, or he has to take some off of his spiraling punt. So either punt he pulls up here can really be good or bad, just depending on execution, which is why it comes down to discipline. And he almost always makes the best decision for his position, either hitting a really high quality backspin punt, pinning them inside the 10, 20, or hitting a very safe, good directional punt. You almost can never see that typical sort of like F it, just gonna punt it down the middle style out of Whelan, which is really common for guys even up to the NFL level. Even on one of his touchbacks from this zone, it was a yard away from probably being the punt of the year.
The catch and makes it.
Vandals have 8 on the line. They're setting up the return. Whelan with it. It's a wobbler. It's caught. No, it bounces and it'll roll into the end zone. So a nice decision.
Teams. He wanted an opportunity. He transferred to Tulsa and he earned one. Whelan booms it, but he can't quite keep it on this side of the end zone.
The last thing I want to talk about is not just how high Daniel Whelan's ceiling is, but more specifically how high his floor is. Because that's another important thing that NFL scouts are going to be taking a look at, is not always how good are his good punts, but how bad are his bad punts. And the truth is, Daniel's bad punts just aren't that bad. If he was any other punter and this was anything but draft tape that we'd be looking at here, you probably would not even notice it. This is just his bad punts are career punts for other punters. So here are some more of Daniel Whelan's floor punts, just to show you how high it is.
Shorter kick gets him up to the 33. Not much room there, so...
Daniel Whelan might be one of the best punters in the nation, regardless of subdivision. High kick into the wind, and the
field. Snap to Whelan. This one a little bit of a wobbler. Fair catch, Owen. At about his own 27, 28-yard line. Out will come Nico.
Lastly, we're going to take a look at just his size. So I like to save this metric for the end, but this is really the last metric that makes me think Daniel will get drafted because it's just not a coachable or trainable skill. Standing at 6'5", he can just rely on his natural leverage on the ball to get him good contact. And why is this so important to NFL teams, you might wonder? It comes down to one word: longevity. He doesn't have to throw his whole body into a punt like a slightly shorter guy like Pat McAfee. He doesn't have to stress out his muscles. He has something that isn't going to one day just break down because of new form or even a potential injury. He will always have his size to fall back on. These are the 5 reasons why I think Daniel Whelan will get drafted in 2022. If you're seeing this before the draft, go ahead and get on the hype train because this guy is the real deal. If you're seeing this after the draft, congrats, your team got a good one. And you should feel very happy to have this guy sitting back there on 4th down. As always, I hope you guys are having a good day. Peace.